Ciao a tutti, benvenuti e bentornati. Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. Io sono Chiara e sono una madrelingua italiana. I'm Chiara and I'm an Italian native speaker. Today in our class, we're going to talk about, as usual, grammar, conversation, and vocabulary. Okay? So let's start with some grammar. During the last class, if you didn't see that, you can check on this Facebook page and you'll find all the other class, okay? So on the other class, during the other class, I told you that today I would spoke about adjectives, okay? We already know some adjectives from the previous lessons and from the physical description. A thing that you gotta know is that in Italian, the form of the noun always agrees with the form of the adjective. So if a noun is masculine and singular, also the adjective will be masculine and singular. But how can I do this form? Following this sample rule. Obviously, today I'm gonna explain you just the general rule, but in the next lesson, I will explain you also the irregularities and exceptions of these rules. But the first thing, let's start. So the first thing you gotta know is that we have three groups, sorry. Now you see four, okay, but I think that you got to know is that these two masculine and feminine are one group. These are two separate and this one is one group, okay? So what should I do if I want to make the masculine form of an adjective? Well, you should add a "o" at the end of your word, okay? So, in this case, we have "o" singular, and there we have plural. "O" means masculine and singular, okay? In this case, we have un indefinite article masculine, un imprenditore, which means businessman, entrepreneur, ricco, rich, okay? A rich businessman, ricco, okay? Masculine, singular, ends with o, ricco, okay? Feminine, singular, usually ends with a, okay? You see, famosa, una ballerina famosa. Una, feminine, singular from this indefinite article. Una ballerina, okay, feminine, the noun is feminine, famosa. The adjective is feminine, which means a famous dancer or a famous ballerina, okay? Then we continue. Okay, then we have this third group, which I decided to divide into parts because we have sometimes this "e". Okay, remember also in the name, in the nouns, we have this "e" that can be used for masculine or feminine both, okay? E, gentile, okay, I use the same. This "e" is a sort of neutral "e", so some adjectives end in "e", so that means that they could be both masculine or feminine. In this case, I put un amico gentile, so a male friend, a kind male friend, un amico gentile, un'amica, ca, feminine, gentile, a kind female friend, okay? So, amica, feminine, gentile, gentile, they both can be masculine or feminine. But how we do the plural? Plural, we do them for the masculine form, we use the E, okay? E, okay, there I put for you a singular, E plural, okay? You have this slash, singular slash plural for all these forms, okay? Plural masculine, E. For the general rule, I remember, I want you to remember that this is the general rule, okay? We're not talking about irregularities, that there are a lot, but this is how the majority of adjectives usually behave, okay? So, we had un imprenditore ricco, degli imprenditori ricchi, okay? Some rich businessmen, okay? This is the plural, entrepreneurs, okay? Imprenditori. Degli, indefinitive, plural, masculine article. Imprenditori ricchi, okay? Remember from the first lesson I told you ricco, when you have co sound, you should have in the plural add an H. Okay, there is the H. Maybe I put you, okay, so you can see better for a little bit of, okay. Ricchi, okay, in this case we have an H there, which means that the sound is hard. It's not ricci, it's ricchi, okay? Then plural form of feminine, e, ok? Una ballerina famosa, delle ballerine famose, ok? You see there is a sort of repetition of this e. When you have a, it becomes e, ok? Delle ballerine famose. Some famous dancers. For this, the third group, in a way, the neutral, but it's not neutral, I call it so it could be easier for you to understand. We have e becomes I, okay? E, I. Degli amici gentili, delle amiche gentili. Sorry, there I forgot to put ili, but this is a mistake, okay? It should be gentili, gentili also there. Un'amica, a kind female friend, some kind female friends, okay? Delle amiche gentili. So this is the general rule for the adjective forms, okay? And endings. Remember, the noun form always agrees with the adjective form. So if the noun it's masculine, also the adjective will be masculine, okay? This is super important in Italian language. From this, you can understand if you're talking about a girl, a boy, or actually a man or a woman, and etc., etc. But we're talking about this, okay? Noun and adjective always agrees. So this was the first part of grammar of this class, but then we have the second. We continue to talk about verbs. We talked about verbs during the first class. we know something, we know the present tense of the verbs to have and to be, avere e essere. Then we know the regular conjugation of the present tense of regular verbs, which are the, if you remember, the three groups: are, ere, ire, conjugation. We did it on the second lesson. On the third lesson, we talked about irregular verbs and the most commonly used one. This time, I'm gonna talk to you about reflexive verbs, okay? In Italian, we really use them, but they are essential for a lot of sentences and also in real life, okay? And I give you some example after the explanation. So, to do the reflexive form of a verb, you need to add a reflexive personal pronoun before the verb, okay? So, before giving you the true examples of reflexive verbs, I wanted to give you the reflexive personal pronouns, okay? From there, I put before the reflexive personal pronoun the basic personal pronoun, so you can understand which pronoun which pronoun I'm referring to, okay? And there you have the translation in English, obviously. I'm gonna repeat each reflexive pronoun twice, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of time so you can repeat after me, but it's not difficult, okay? Me, myself. Ti, yourself. Si, himself. Ci, ourselves. Vi, yourselves. Si, themselves. Okay. So we can continue with the examples. Okay. Obviously, each reflexive verb has a normal, okay, form of the verb. So let's start with chiamarsi, okay? Chiamarsi. Chiamarsi could be, is chiamare, okay, to call, chiamare. First group, remember the rule, first group of verbs, in are, and in are, chiamare, okay? You remember that. If you want to say, my name is, you should use the verb chiamarsi. The literal translation is to call myself, for example, okay? I call myself, the literal translation, but the correct translation would be my name is, okay? I'm gonna repeat each conjugation twice, and I'll leave you some time so you can repeat after me. Thing that you gotta know is that chiamare, in this case, is regular present tense. You conjugate before the verb in the way that you already know how to do it. So io chiamo would be, and then before you add before the verb, the conjugation of the verb, you had the reflexive personal pronouns, okay? So you can say that. I didn't put all the translations because you can understand, but the translation of chiamarsi would be my, your, his name is, okay? Okay, let's continue. Io mi chiamo. My name is. Io mi chiamo. Tu ti chiami. Tu ti chiami. Lui si chiama. Lui si chiama. Noi ci chiamiamo. Noi ci chiamiamo. Voi vi chiamate. Voi vi chiamate. Loro si chiamano. Sorry. Loro si chiamano. Okay? Then we have another example there, which is alzarsi, to get up. The normal form of alzarsi would be alzare, and for example, which means literally to lift, okay? Io alzo questa penna, I lift this pen. But if you want to say to get up, you will say alzarsi, ok? Io mi alzo. Io mi alzo alle 5. I get up at 5 a.m. Okay? So let's start. Io mi alzo. Io mi alzo. Tu ti alzi. Tu ti alzi. Lui si alza. Lui si alza. Noi ci alziamo. Noi ci alziamo. Voi vi alzate. Voi vi alzate. Loro si alzano. Loro si alzano. Okay? I think that you gotta know is that usually not a lot of your reflexive form of verbs correspond to ours, okay? You can understand from this case, both of these examples are not reflexive form of verbs, but for us are. So, but there are examples such as introduce yourself, for example, yourself. I introduce myself would be io mi presento, okay? So some of reflexive verb in English correspond to some reflexive verb in Italian. Others do not. Like in this case, these are not obviously reflexive verb in English, okay? So for the grammar, that's all. We can continue with some conversation. During our classes, we did some dialogues. Okay, we did self-presentation, physical description, and, for example, a meeting between two strangers. In this case, we're going to do a dialogue between, we did a meeting between two friends, sorry. This time we're going to do a dialogue between two strangers. For example, they're on the train and they're traveling, or they're in a bar, I don't know. And they introduce themselves in an informal, easy way. They're both young, and they do a lot of interesting questions. And the next lesson, I will teach you how to do questions, okay, and some of question words and vocabulary. But we can start. I'm gonna read all the dialogue and then we're gonna translate it together. But you always find there all the translations, okay? Let's start. Ciao, come ti chiami? Ciao, mi chiamo... Sorry, I want to do this. Okay. Ciao, come ti chiami? Ciao, io mi chiamo Gloria. E tu? Io mi chiamo Marco. Quanti anni hai? Ho 23 anni. E tu? Anche io. Dove vivi? Vivo in un paese vicino a Milano. Tu? Io vivo a Roma. Studi o lavori? Lavoro in un supermercato. Tu lavori? No, io studio giurisprudenza. Voglio diventare avvocato. Ok, let's see. Ciao, come ti chiami? Hi, what's your name? Ok. Ciao, io mi chiamo Gloria. E tu? Io mi chiamo reflexive verb, we just saw it. My name is Gloria. And yours? Io mi chiamo Marco. Okay. Quanti anni hai? Remember, in Italian, we use the verb to have to express the age and not the verb to be. So it is quanti anni hai? How old are you? Ho 23 anni. I'm 23. E tu? And you? 23, we saw it in the first class, numbers, 20 più 3 makes 23. Anche io, me too. Io, it's me, ok? Anche, it's tu, ok. Anche tu, sorry, anche tu, io, me. Dove vivi? Where do you live? Dove, where, vivi. Okay, we don't have the subject there, but from the conjugation we know that is referring to the second person, which is in case is you, tu. Dove vivi tu? It would be. But in Italian, as I told you before, we don't usually put the subject before the verb because we can understand it from the conjugation. Vivo would be io vivo, conjugation of the verb, present tense of the verb vivere, ok, second group. Vivo in un paese vicino a Milano. Tu? I live in a village near Milan. And you? Vivo, ok, I live, in un paese, in a village, vicino, near, Milan. Ok. Tu? Io vivo a Roma. Okay, this is always the conjugation vivi, vivo, okay, of the verb vivere. V-I-V-E-R-E, if you want to write down, vivere, second group, present tense. Io vivo a Roma. Okay, I live in Rome. Studio lavori. Do you work or do you study? In Italian, to express the interrogation, the question, we usually repeat the verb without subject a lot, and we just put the question mark, and we do a lot of intonation work. So it's like studi o lavori? You work or do you study? Lavoro in un supermercato. Tu lavori? I work in a supermarket. Do you work? Lavorare, first, lavoro, lavorare, ok? To work, lavorare. First group, present tense, in this case. Tu lavori? Do you work? You work? Do you work? No. Io studio. Studiare, it's the verb, studio. Giurisprudenza, law. Voglio diventare, volere, remember from the last lesson. Voglio diventare, this is irregular verb, voglio, first person irregular verb, diventare, to be, to become, okay, it would be become, diventare, this is an infinitive form, avvocato, lawyer. Okay, this was the first dialogue, then we have the second one. The second one is a little bit different. In this case, we introduce two things. The first one is the formal form of speaking. So when you're talking to someone which is older than you, I don't know, when you're talking to a professor, so when you want to give respect to someone, you use this formal form in Italian, which is il lei, okay, dare del lei. is the formal form. And then we have the formal, and then we have also directions to go to places. Okay, so we have a boy or a girl, which is walking through the street and saw this, I don't know, old lady, which probably needs help. So he says, "Salve signora, ha bisogno di aiuto?" "Sì, grazie. Dove posso trovare la farmacia più vicina?" "Deve andare dritta per 100 metri e poi girare a destra. La farmacia si trova subito dietro l'angolo." "Grazie mille, è stato veramente gentile. Si figuri, buona giornata. Arrivederci e buona giornata." Ok, salve signora. Salve, already know it's formal greeting. Signora, ma'am, lady, ok. Hello, ma'am. Ha bisogno di aiuto? Ok. If this ma'am or lady was a girl, a teenager or a friend, we would have said I. Do you need help? I, you, okay? But she's older than us, okay? So we say a, okay? We conjugate the verb at the third person. Lei ha bisogno di aiuto. This is more formal, more respectful, okay? Salve signora, ha bisogno di aiuto? Hello ma'am, do you need help? The ma'am replies, sì, grazie, yes, please. Okay, grazie means also thank you. In this case could be yes, please. La prego, ok? Dove posso trovare la farmacia più vicina? Where can I find the nearest pharmacy? Dove posso trovare? Dove, which means where. Posso, verbo potere. We did last time, so to be able to or can, posso. Trovare, to find, okay. Trovare is the infinitive form of the verb trovare and means to find. La farmacia, we can see there, farmacia, it's feminine singular, so the adjective, which is vicina, near, nearest, is feminine singular, you see? La farmacia vicina. Più means the most near, ok? Più means, in this case, means the most, ok? Deve andare dritta per 100 metri e poi girare a destra. La farmacia si trova subito dietro l'angolo. Deve, ok, in this case, remember, he's talking to an older woman, so he doesn't say devi, ok, it's not referring to you, second person, but to third person. Third person, lei deve, ok, dovere. Remember, we saw the verb to dovere last lesson. It's an irregular verb. It seems to be regular, but it is irregular. Deve, lei deve andare dritta. Andare means to go. Dritta, straight. For 100, remember the number 100, metri, meters. E poi, and then, poi then means, and then, third, girare, are, first group of regular verbs, girare a destra, right. Right is destra, left is sinistra, destra, sinistra, ok? La farmacia, pharmacy, si trova subito dietro l'angolo. Si trova means it's a way to say is, ok? Si trova subito, right after, ok? Right subito, now, ok? Around the corner, dietro, around. The corner, which is l'angolo, it's masculine in this case. She says, grazie mille, è stato veramente gentile. Thank you so much. You are really kind. In this case, we use this formal sentence, which is è stato. He is, okay, literally, but it's a formal way to say it was very kind of you to help me in this case. È stato veramente gentile, or you were really kind, you are really kind. Si figuri, no problem. Buona giornata, si figuri, it's a formal way to say no problem, ok? Si figuri. Buona giornata, have a good day, arrivederci e buona giornata. Goodbye and have a good day. So we're done for conversation part, and we're going to read a little bit of vocabulary. The vocabulary of the day are adjectives, more adjectives, okay? And the house. I want to go fast there because we have a lot of words. Last time I gave you more adjectively. Sorry, I gave you a lot of physics description adjectives. So they were a lot about body, hair, etc., etc. Now we're talking more about behavior and character. Okay. I'm gonna repeat each word twice, and I'm gonna leave you some time so you can repeat after me out loud. The translation is always near the word, okay? I'm not gonna read this translation, and all the adjectives in this case are in the masculine singular form, but they can be transformed in the feminine singular or in the plural, okay? Let's continue. Buono, buono. Cattivo, cattivo. Simpatico, simpatico. Antipatico, antipatico. Importante, importante. Interessante, interessante. Listen to that I double the S. Interessante, okay? Intelligente, also there, I had double the L. Intelligente, intelligente. Stupido, stupido. The stress is on the first, okay? It's not stupido, it's stupido. Facile, facile. Difficile, difficile. Difficile, okay? Double the F. So I'm gonna read you now some house vocabulary. Okay. I'm gonna start from the left, and then I'm gonna continue from left to right, and then after these always in the same direction. A thing that I want to tell you is that, as you obviously can understand, this noun will not change their form. So, for example, il bagno, the bathroom, can be just masculine singular, okay? There's no feminine singular for the bathroom. Bathroom remains bathroom. Bagno è il bagno, it's masculine singular. Just like la cucina, it's feminine singular. So when you see la cucina, you know that you got to put the feminine article and also the feminine adjective. Same thing for the bathroom, il bagno or il corridoio. Same thing for the other, which are masculine singular. Obviously, they can be transformed in plural form. This was just a thing that I think you got to know. And so let's start. I'm gonna read each noun twice, each vocabulary twice. A thing that I want also to tell you was that you can understand that a noun is masculine or feminine from the article, in this case, il or lo, which are masculine, and la, which is feminine, okay? Remember the articles from the first lesson. They can really help you. So, il bagno. Okay, you can see that the first ones are il bagno twice because we, to say in a more polite way, the toilet, we say bagno, okay? And also the bathroom is il bagno, okay? Bagno, gn, ok. Il corridoio, r. Il salotto, double T, il salotto. La cucina, la cucina. La camera da letto, la camera da letto. La sala da pranzo, la sala da pranzo. La dispensa, la dispensa. Lo studio, lo studio. Okay. We can continue with camera da letto and the things that are inside the bedroom, okay? La sveglia, la sveglia. Il letto, il letto. Obviously, letto is bed, il letto is the bed, okay? It's we always put the article before so you can understand better masculine and feminine, but you can say letto without the article or coperta without the article. La coperta, la coperta. La libreria, la libreria. Il tappeto, il tappeto, da ODP. La sedia, la sedia. La lampada, la lampada. Il materasso, il materasso. Il cuscino. Can you understand this sound? Cuscino, cuscino. Il tappetino, double P, il tappetino. Le lenzuola, le lenzuola. La mensola, la mensola. L'armadio, l'armadio. La vasca da bagno, la vasca da bagno. Il bidet, lo specchio, double C, lo specchio, really hard sound. La doccia, in this case soft sound, but double C, la doccia. Il sapone, il sapone. Il rubinetto, il rubinetto. L'asciugamano, l'asciugamano. Il lavandino, il lavandino. Let's continue. I think I got to sorry. To do that. Okay. We're almost there. Oh, sorry. Cucina, kitchen. L'ammoniaca, double M. La ciotola, la ciotola, la scopa, la scopa, lo strofinaccio, lo strofinaccio, la caffettiera, la caffettiera, la cucina, la cucina, l'apribottiglie, da bottiglie, la tazza, la tazza, la lavastoviglie, la lavastoviglie, la forchetta, il freezer, il freezer, il frigo, la padella, il bicchiere, i fornelli, il ferro da stiro, l'asse da stiro, il coltello, il forno a microonde, il frullatore, la tazza, il forno, il piatto, la casseruola, il lavandino, il cucchiaio, il tavolo, la teiera, il cucchiaino, l'apriscatole, il tostapane, l'asciugatrice, l'aspirapolvere, la lavatrice, il detersivo per i piatti, Okay. Thank you for participating in this lesson. I know it was a little bit longer than the other, but the vocabulary took a little bit because this is a lot and I wanted to pronounce it well for you. So if you have any question, please comment down below. I'll read everyone and I'll answer you. And follow the page for more classes. As always, I leave you with an exercise. I'm gonna open this. You got to transform these sentences from singular to plural. You know everything to do this exercise. So you know articles, you know nouns, you know verbo essere, verb to be, present tense, and you know adjective nouns. So try to do this, and if you need any help, I'm here. I'm gonna leave this for about other 10 seconds so you can take, for example, a screenshot, and then I'm gonna say goodbye. Okay. So thank you for following this lesson. I hope everything was clear. And ciao a tutti, grazie mille per aver seguito e alla prossima.